I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over to Myra, and Myra, if you will introduce yourself to the group.
Yeah, definitely. So first, thank you, Shannon, for inviting me. It's always great to hang out with you. And this is my first time with Learning Rebels, so this is exciting for me. I get a little nervous before I do sessions. So I get like I always get have a little anxiety before these sessions because I never know how they're going to be received. So hopefully we can make this interactive. And we're going to be, I like to do project-based. So we're going to be building stuff. So if you want to follow along, let me give you a little background on this actual session. So back in 2002, 2003, I was a professor at a university where I came up with this course called New Technologies for Learning. So I taught in a Master's of Education program at the time because there was no instructional design, there was no instructional technology. So this is what we're going to be doing today. But before we get started with this, in the chat, I would love for everyone to share, what is your experience so far with AI? What have you done with AI so far? So what have you done with AI? Could drop it in the chat. Created content, just playing around. Yep, playing around. All right, fair enough. Video voiceover, love that. Summarizing long articles, that's my favorite use case because I do a lot of reading. Experimenting, playing around, answering some questions. Yeah, so this is what everyone's been doing with ChatGPT. It's been all the hype. And people are trying to figure out how do we use it to improve our workflow. So through this project-based learning feature or learning event I want to do with you all, we are going to build a learning asset. And so I've broken this down into steps. So I want you to think about a course topic that you would want to create. It could be something silly. It could be something you're working on. I'm going to be creating my example. It's going to be introduction to sewing machines, just because it's a nice hobby that I have that I like to do with people also. So we're going to create some course titles, get a couple examples. We're going to create a course description, learning objectives. We are going to use a tool that I created to create our learning objectives. It's limited beta right now. It's on my website. We're going to use that. You'll be the first group to use it, which is going to be super interesting. And then we're going to use a different AI tool to generate a course outline for us. And then we're going to generate a script for one of the topics in our course. And then we're going to generate a video. And all of this is going to be using AI. So I want you to think about your workflow when we're going through this. So let's get started here. So the first tool we're going to use is ChatGPT. So let me give you a little background on ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is what's called a generative AI tool. Now, there are different forms of AI tools. There are classifier AI and there are generative AI. So classifier AI, we all use and don't know it. And when we use it, we're training a machine learning model at the same time without knowing it. So how many of you have completed a CAPTCHA for a website where you have to pick all the bridges or pick all the taxis, right? Many of us find that on websites. So did you know that that's a classifier AI? So what that means is that every time you pick the correct images, you're training a computer vision AI model at the same time. So Google, who came up with that, uses that data also to train their machine learning models. So Google is actually the pioneer that created the platform that ChatGPT was built on and trained on. So Google was the innovator. OpenAI just ran with it because Google invented Llama and they did not feel that it fit their business model. So they just didn't put extra work into it. And OpenAI saw an opportunity, and they ended up training a model based on this llama framework with data, tons of internet data. So one of the issues with ChatGPT is that the training data stops in 2020. So it knows everything up to 2020. Anything after 2020, it does not know about. And so in order to train that AI with that data post 2020, we need to create what's called foundational models. And a foundational model is a data science term. It's basically a new model that trains the AI on new information, and then that AI trains other AIs. So that's what a foundational model is. So just geeking out a little bit here, just to give you some context around ChatGPT. ChatGPT right now is based on GPT-3 and GPT-3 Turbo. They just launched GPT-4. GPT-3 is all text. So the only inputs it takes is text. And it can generate text, right? That's all it can do. Have you guys tried to like generate images with it? You can't, because ChatGPT is a text generator. However, with GPT-4, and once they make it readily available to everyone, you'll be able to input videos, images, text, charts, whatever, to generate content. And so that's going to be a huge disruptor also. So what we're seeing right now is just a small slice of the game here. So we're going to kick off with our first part of the project. So all of you, if you can go to chat.openai.com, it's in the link is in the what do you call this, in the meeting chat. And what we're going to do is we are going to create some prompts, and I'm going to walk you through this. So let's walk through it first, and then we'll I'll have you try it out. So this is my screen is going to look a little different than yours, just because I have a paid version of ChatGPT, because I do a lot of development. But what we're going to do is I want you to ask the model, the AI model, to generate course titles for your specific topic. So you can create, so when you're writing your prompt, you can write it as if you are speaking to a person. Your prompt should be specific as to like what you're looking for. I say this is like giving instructions to a kid, right? If you tell your kid, go get your shoes on, right? You're not being specific about what shoes, right? You want them to put on, and they may come back with two different looking shoes. I know my kids used to do that all the time when they were little. So I had to be very specific. Go get your sneakers on, go get your sandals on, right? So you kind of have to do the same here. So my topic is introductions to sewing machines, right? And then I'm going to say generate 5 potential titles for the course. I'm going to leave all the typos in there, and then I'm going to let it go. And it's going to give me 5 topics, or 5 titles for my course. From here, I can decide, do I like any of these? And if I don't, I can say, I don't like those. Any of those. Create, give me 4, I'm going to say, give me 3 more. So it already knows the data it gave me. So I'm going to tell it, so I just told it, give me 3 more, right? So it gave me 3 more. So you can continue doing this until it gives you something that you actually feel you like. If you don't like any of them, you can say, let's start over again, right? And then you have to try your prompt again. So I'm going to give everyone a few minutes, go into ChatGPT and try to generate at least 5 titles for a course topic that you're thinking of. It could be something you're working on right now. It could be a course that you've already developed. It could be anything that you can think of. So go ahead. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and then I want us to come back and share what you were able to come up with.
And while you guys are working through that, if you can't have access, and we can continue massaging this, right? So,
Yeah.
Myra, what would happen if we said that we wanted to change like the tone? So if we want it more formal or more fun or more bolder or hilarious or something like that.
Yeah, so I'll go in here. So I can say, let's try again, right? And so then it threw in Pee Wee Herman's name in there, which I don't think I would use, but I like 1 and 2, right? And I can say, let's say reword or rewrite 2. So then it knows what I'm talking about. So I don't need to tell it like rewrite number 2, like in full sentence. I can use partial sentences. Anyone ever tells you that their machine learning model that powers an AI is 100% accurate, I would run for the hills. Right. So like when I train a machine learning model, I'm going for like an 83% of accuracy. Yeah, so the thumbs up, thumbs down is you're telling it like this is good, this is not great. So this is how you're training the model. So I can say like this is great here, and then I can say this matched what I was looking for. And what you're doing, this is it turns into reinforcement learning. So a bunch of machine learning terms. So reinforcement learning is a reward system where you are rewarding the AI for giving you a good response. So the thumbs up, thumbs down is a reward. All right. So how many of you have gotten some titles back?
So I am actually trying to introduce AI where I work as an instructional designer, and I work with faculty at a college upstate New York. And I saw potential when I was researching this. And so I wanted to introduce AI. So I asked AI to generate 5 titles for an introductory course. And the first one was AI 101, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, Understanding AI, a Beginner's Guide. For me, as an instructional designer, understanding is not a good term. Exploring AI, an introductory course, AI fundamentals, and AI essentials. So I said, this is a great start. Thank you. But can we try again? And this time, please don't use abstract words such as know, understand, learn. I thought you told us to be specific. So it returned with 3 more from ADA, which I have to confess, I don't know what that is, to AI, a historical journey on intelligent machines. I found that's interesting.
So
Intelligence
sorry. So ADA is a marketing term.
Okay. Okay. And then Intelligence Unleashed, an exploration of artificial intelligence, and then the power of AI, discovering the potential of intelligent systems. And I did add that my target audience are very new beginners to AI.
Okay. Great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to share? Yeah. So see, so now we're finding the usefulness in the AI, but we're being really specific. So let's move on to the next part of our project. So ChatGPT will not pick a title for you. You need to tell it what title you want it to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to write a for the title. So I'm gonna pick a title, and let me just see. Let's do this one, Wacky World of Sewing Machine. So this is my title, and I'm gonna tell it, you are now an instructional designer, right? So I'm changing, it knows all the information it already provided me. I'm gonna say, we are going to use the course title, right? And what I wanted to do is I wanted to generate a description for this course. Okay, so I'm going to say write a wacky and engaging course, hold on, can't see back there. Okay, course description. My screen is so big. Using marketing lingo and the tone of Homer Simpson. Homer's always my favorite to use.
Nice.
So start with, whoa, Marge, right? If you're ready, which I kind of dig. If you're ready to take sewing skills to the next level, you need to sign up for this class, right? So it gave me like a really generic, but notice that it's telling the person or the student or prospective student what they'll learn. So it's kind of already creating a partial course outline in here to give you ideas of what you could potentially cover. And let's say I don't like this one. I can say try again. As simple as that, right?
But homie, I would have signed up for that course.
Right? So you can continue going through that. So, and once you land on a description that you like, you would copy and paste it because again, you can't print. You would give it the thumbs up. I like the first one. You would give it the thumbs up and say, this is great. Yay. Right? And I can say this one's boring. Boring. And it gives you, like, if you're giving it a thumbs down, you can say if it's presenting you with harmful information, if there's bias in it, if it just isn't true, or if it isn't helpful. I tell everyone, if you're getting information that's not true, you need to flag it because that's the only way the AI is going to learn. If you don't tell it how long to keep it, it's going to give you like a very long course description, like a couple paragraphs. I think it does like 3. But the whole point with this is as you are going through and you're working with the AI, it's learning your preferences and your style.
Right. So it'll get to know my particular tone of voice, so to speak.
Yep, definitely. So Rula, you are muted. I see
Oh,
you.
sorry about that. Yeah, I just have a question. Can you expand on that? I find it fascinating. Can you expand a little bit on what you just said? It's learning your preference, because that's kind of scary too.
Yeah,
The
so learning your
preferences.
style is, so as you're using ChatGPT, what it's doing is it's learning the style of writing that you prefer. So when you have future conversations with it, it will try to match that style. Right? So like if you I wish my history were up because I have like a ton of prompts that I've written. And the first prompt is very mechanical. Like the responses it gave me was very mechanical. I was like, yeah, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And I just kept on telling it, use this tone or don't use these words. Don't make it a paragraph. Don't give me 3 paragraphs, like being very specific. So when it starts giving me answers again, and I'm asking it for specific things, it already knows that I'm looking for, let's say if I'm saying an outline, it may know that I'm looking for an outline with sub bullets and not just an outline with straight bullets. Or if I tell it, like, I want you to add descriptions to all the sub bullets, sometimes it knows to do that for me. This is a machine, it's a computer program, right? It's an algorithm, machine learning. So machine learning is kind of like my realm. And so machine learning is the engine for AI. It's how you train AI to do what it does. It is not a self-thinking platform. What it's done, and like you can ask it about events from 2021, it'll tell you I don't know about that, because it's only trained on historical data. So the AI is trained on historical data. It does not know about future, like it can't predict the future, right? So just like a person, like let's say we had a person that was fine and well up until 2020, ended up in a coma and wakes up in 2023, they have like a bunch of information they don't know about, right? They missed like 3 years of stuff, and so they won't know about that stuff specifically. So you have to teach that person about what went on. So what we could do is we can actually feed information into ChatGPT. Like we can ask, one of my favorite things, and we'll do this in a minute, is like you can ask it like, do you know about the ADDIE model, right? Or do you know about X? And use that as a level setter. So if it doesn't know, then you can go in and say, okay, so this is the information about X. I want you to do whatever. All right, so I'm going to share with you a tool that I created, because now we're going to create some learning objectives. And I'm going to show you this really quick. You can have the option of using it. This is from my website. Let me grab this link for you. This is something I created. It's in beta, so it is not completely baked out. But what it can do is it can create learning objectives for you. So what we can do, and I'm just going to demo this, and then we'll demo it in here in the ChatGPT. So let's see. This was the title that I used, right? So I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say generate 4 learning objectives for my course, boop. And then I'm going to tell it what topics I'm going to cover in the course. So you would use this if you have an idea of what the topics are. We're going to use ChatGPT to create an outline for our course. So you can decide the order that you want to do it in, but I'm going to demo this really quick. So my course topics include parts of a sewing machine, threads and bobbins, tension, let's see what else, threading a machine, let's see, presser feet, types of presser feet. And OT attachments. Oh, and I'm going to do, I also want to do types of sewing machines. I do in parentheses, overlock, sewing, embroidery, and cobbler. Okay, so I'm just going to give it this information, and then I'm going to click generate. And if you have the course details already from ChatGPT, let's say you use ChatGPT for the course outline, you could just copy that in here. But it's going to generate those 4 learning objectives that I asked it to generate. And it's gonna, as you can see here, I can copy and paste. I can't print this. It will only generate learning objectives. So you can use this to generate your learning objectives. And then I'm going to give you 2 steps. So you can generate your learning objectives right here. And I would just copy and paste them. Or if you want, you can, if my tool stops working because it is in beta, you can use that same prompt in here about generate 4 learning objectives. So I'm going to walk you through the prompt I would use to generate my course outline. If you don't have learning objectives yet, you can tell it to create course topics. So I'll do both for you. So let's start with I'm going to do this one based on the learning objectives. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's going to give me a detailed course outline here. So based on this course outline, right, you can say, instead of a course outline, you can say, you're still on the road, create a list of course topics. And then you can use those course topics to generate your learning objectives. And then you can go back and say, create a course outline based on the learning objectives. So I'm going to put that in. I'll put this in the chat. So you can do write or give me 6 course topics. Use. And so you can use that as a prompt. And then from there, you would then say, if you like the course topics, you can say, is there anything that, what else would you add, or add, you know, whatever you want to add that you think may be missing. And then you can then go back and generate your course outline. One interesting thing here, so you see how it has module 1, 2, 3, 4. I can say add, oh, I added safety. Okay, let's see. Types of machines, specific, choosing the right machines for your needs. Let's see, under threat, oh, under okay. Module to module 4, add a topic about needle types. And then it's going to generate the entire outline again for module 4. We are going to jump to my next favorite tool, which is Jasper. We're going to move on to Jasper.ai. I'm going to log in. I'm going to show you so you can start now. I'm going to log in because I have an account. Okay. I have a ton of untitled. This is my laziness. I have a ton of untitled things. And then I have another, this one is, I'm writing a book. For a book I was writing, right? So I put all my book stuff in here. So you can create folders. They're called projects. So you can just start a new project and say, Learning Rebels. Fun one, Shannon, right? And then just save the project. And the project will appear in your list. But in Jasper, what you would do, let me show you the framework. I'm going to create a new freeform template, and it generates the same way it does in ChatGPT does. You would put your tone of voice here. So I want to say, let's use the Alfred Hitchcock tone of voice. Say, rewrite these learning objectives. And because I have the tone of voice of Alfred Hitchcock on the side, let's see what it does. So it says, notice that it auto-completed it for me. It says using Bloom's taxonomy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have Jasper installed on my computer just as a plugin. So anytime I write, it fills in for me, like, because I'm a lazy writer too. So that's why I like it, because I can say, like, I'm searching for X, and it'll like give me a recommendation as to like what else I should say to get a better prompt. Yeah. So you can do this. So let's go back. Let's see. There are some other tools we can use. Let me move. I'm going to move this tool to the middle so I could see. Okay. I missed that. Here we go. Writer.me. So this is this was the first tool that I started using. I'm going to put this in the chat. And I have prompts here. With Writer, it's the same as ChatGPT, or not as Jasper. But here, you're a little more limited on what you can write. So you can get a blog outline, a blog section, business pitch idea, call to action, or the ADA framework there. So let's say I wanted to do a blog section, right? But I'm actually going to write a script. So I'm going to say the blog section is going to be on, let's pick a topic from here. Types of sewing machines and their specific use cases. And let me know if anyone is having trouble getting into Writer. I'm going to demonstrate this. And then I can say in here, overlock, sewing, embroidery, because these are the keywords I wanted to include. And cobbler. And then I'm going to tell I want 3 variations, and I want it to be optimal. So you can do less factual, more factual. So this is how much you'll allow it to lie. and then just hit, and I wanted to tone, right? There's different tones that you can pick here. You have to pick from their list. So I'm gonna say, I want, let's be worried.
Let's be worried. Let's be worried about sewing.
Yeah, let's be worried about the types of sewing machine. And so you notice, because I told it to write a blog section, it says in this article, you can actually eliminate that. In ChatGPT, you can't eliminate words once it's written it for you. In Writer, you can. And notice that you have editing tools at the top on Writer.
So what would you say is the big difference between these tools? So, which one do you use?
Yeah, so it's all a matter of preference and budget, right? And also what is not blocked by your network. So you need to work with your IT department to make sure that the tool you're using isn't blocked. I really like Writer because I feel it's a little more structured for some of the things I want to do. It's evolved also, like before it wasn't like this. Before you could here you could put more use cases and stuff. Now they've locked it down just to, I mean, they still have a ton of use cases, right? Like you could tell, like, give me a video idea, give me a video description, channel description, testimonial. Let's see, song lyrics, they've added, that's new, a story plot. So I kind of like this because it's really structured and it allows you to structure your writing. With Jasper, you can use some of the same stuff. Let me show you. In Jasper, they have these templates. They have a ton of templates that you can use. So you have a content summarizer. So boss mode is a paid mode. So if it's purple, you don't have access to it, but you can use any of the ones that are not boss mode. So like you have this blog post outline, topics, 1,000 words is worth a picture, which it generates an image. It writes conclusions. Here is the free form that I was using. You can have it improve a piece of content, so you can copy and paste content you've already generated and put it in here. Benefit features.
I think that this is a great. So if you didn't want to pay for Jasper, what I'm seeing here is that you could take all of these ideas and plug them into the free version of ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
So you can use those as prompts.
Yep, exactly. And so there's another tool. I'm going to keep on throwing tools, and we'll get to so Pseudo-Write is my other favorite tool. So Pseudo-Write is more of a storyteller. So if you're writing stories, Pseudo-Write is the way to go. Yeah.
Or simulations.
Yeah. So in here, you can tell it to write, right? Like you start writing, you can say, Myra is learning how to use AI today. And then I can tell it over here. No, I don't want to do that. Hold on. I don't know why it's telling me to navigate away. And I can tell it, like, copy this, and I can tell it to write. Let's see if it, oh, I'm out of words. So I could tell it to write, and it would continue the story. But my favorite is Writer out of all of them because it's the one I originally started using. But ChatGPT definitely gives you a little more play, right? So if we go back to ChatGPT, now that I've shown you all of that, pick one of the topics from a module. I'm going to use the types of sewing machine, write a script, a short script. Short 2-paragraph script to introduce the course and learning objectives and course goals, not learning objectives. How's that?
And let's put that into a video.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to turn this into a video. All right. So we have our script. We're going to go to DID video. So DID will take your script and we'll have an avatar.
DID's Creative Reality Studio just got even better. Now, as well as animating images from text or audio, you can create avatars and generate scripts using Stable Diffusion and GPT-3. Just describe what you want your avatar to look like and press create. You can make any avatar you want. Say, picture of a half-alien goddess, or a 19th century portrait of a happy Victorian gentleman. Not sure what you want your avatar to say? Just tell our AI what you have in mind, and it will automatically generate a script for you.
They've made some updates.
If you can imagine it, just type or talk to create a one-of-a-kind video without any technical knowledge. Digital creations for human imaginations. Go to d-id.com today to start your free trial.
Okay, so they have made some definite adjustments or updates. Okay, so this is the DID platform and the layout. DID will take whatever script you give it, and as you saw, you can have it generate a script also. I didn't grab the script. Let me grab the script. And I'm going to copy it to the DID here. And then I'm going to pick an avatar. So you can pick an avatar, you can add an avatar, or you can generate a presenter, which is new. Let's see. Let's see if it'll generate it. It's going to ask me to pay. Okay. I'm not going to pay for this. So we're just going to use her. And then you get to pick your voice. I'm going to pick Korra. And then you get to pick your style. Let's see if I can go up here. Right, you're supposed to, you can pick your style. I think because I'm out of credits, it won't let me do it. And then you essentially can generate your video. You can, if you have a voice, like voice audio, you can upload that too. And what happens is the avatar's mouth will speak your script. It does create an MP4 of your video. Let me bring him over here so you can see. So this is a video that I had created in a previous session.
What's up, Doc? I'm Bugs Bunny, and today we're talking about cooking to safe temperatures. Now, you might be asking yourself, why do I gotta cook food to safe temperatures? Well, let me give you the skinny partner. Cooking food to safe temperatures is important because it kills harmful bacteria that could make you or your diet.
So he is speaking in the tone of Bugs Bunny. And the script was a little wonky, so you can play around with how you want the script to actually play. Like if you want pauses, make sure your punctuation's in there, enter line breaks and stuff like that, so it can pause through the different things. If there's something that you wanted to enunciate correctly, you may have to write it out phonetically. Yep, so in video is another one. This has a lot more features though. You can use this for video editing and stuff like that too. Whereas with DID, you can't do any video editing. And with Synthesia, I think I don't know if they've added the video editing features to it yet or not. But in video, you can actually splice videos together and do some basic editing.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, it is, right? So then you don't have to like use a separate tool. So it's a drag and drop interface. You can drag and drop audio into it. It's a pretty cool tool.
And it works the same way. You just populate your script.
So in video has some features. I don't know if I think it does. It doesn't do the avatar like DID does and like Synthesia. What it does is it will do animations around your video. I mean, around your audio, and you can like bring in other stuff, images and stuff. I don't know, the whole avatar thing is a little creepy sometimes, right?
I like I can never pronounce it since whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. It seems to be less creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The mouth movements seem to be, I think, more closer aligned to the words than a lot of other tools that I've used.
Yeah, that is a really hard thing to get to do. That lip movement to a script, that takes a lot of training of AI to be able to do that. Yeah. So let me just show you. So this is Korra. So I have a design thinking course that I created a long time ago. And what I did is I created a knowledge manager, which is all of the content from my course. I uploaded it to Korra. And let me just show you what this is going to look like. Here, I called it Ditto. So my course is in here. All my course content and stuff is in here. And I can say problem statement. I don't even need to ask it a question. What it's going to do is going to filter through all of the content that I uploaded into Knowledge Manager. And it's going to pull up the information from there, from like videos and from PDFs and audio that I've uploaded. It's going to search it because it segmented that content, and it's going to provide information based on my search. So this is a way to create a knowledge manager for your courses that you can then embed. So notice here, this is a video, and it says define the problem at 0.21 seconds. So when I click it, it's going to open the video at that specific spot down here.
And so we use, what I like to do is I like to iterate our problem statement into a how might we statement. So
right. So it takes your user to the specific spot in a video, a document, or if you had audio in here, it'll take them to that specific spot. And so I'm going to click a couple here because I want to show you. This is a PDF, and it's going to highlight where that information is for me. And then as the creator of this, I can go into my analytics and I can see where the user clicked and what they asked for, what the query was, when did they, what was the date for that? How many videos, how many documents, how many answers, questions weekly. Let me share, I will share a link with you. I have another one, let's see. Yeah, I have my AI one. Let me share this one with you so you can give it a try. I'm gonna put this in the chat. So Korra, I'll walk you through really quick as you guys are playing with that. The first thing you do is you create a knowledge manager, and you just create a unit and you name it. So we can say Learning Rebels. And then you save it. You're creating a folder, essentially. And then you click on it, and then you can upload media. These are all the media types you can upload. You can upload Word docs, PowerPoints, PDFs, videos, files from Dropbox, YouTube videos. So for YouTube videos, let's do this really quick. I want to show you really quick, learn what Myra videos. I'm going to grab a share link here, copy, and then I'm going to go back to Korra, and I'm going to add file, YouTube video, and I'm just pasting the link, and then it imports it. And as it's doing that, I can say add file. I want to file, and I'm going to browse through my files. And let's say I wanted to, I don't know what any of these documents are. Let's do this one, beginner rubric. I'm going to open that. It's going to upload it. And I can add as many documents as I want, as many videos as I want. And it's going to segment. What it's doing is it's learning about the information in that file. And while it's doing that, you see it's indexing, it's going through some process in here. And depending on the size of the file, it takes it a few minutes to go through the entire file. But now if I go to Experience Creator, I can create a new experience, call it Learning Rebels, and create it. And then it's going to appear in my list here. And then I would just edit the experience. You pick the database. So right now it's empty because it's still going, the Learning Rebels is still kind of processing, but you essentially pick the database you want, and then you do some basic editing. You can add an image, you can add a logo. So I'm going to go in here and browse, and let's add a logo. I have images somewhere. Okay. I'm going to add my anonymous here. I can have the logo take people somewhere. I can say HTTP. So if they click the logo, it'll take them to my website. I can, this is the short name. So because I'm early on, I was able to pick a short name for my site. So it's just my, you can enable a contact page. You can have a file repository, which means that the files are saved somewhere else. And you just link to the file repository. And then you publish. Because I haven't picked the database yet, it hasn't done anything, but let's pick the AI one. And then you save and publish. And that takes it a second. And then you can get this embed code that you can embed into your learning, into like an e-learning, or you can share the link with people. You can view it live. Here's a little anonymous mask, creepy. Takes you to my website, right? It opens it up in a different folder. You can go back. And then we use the AI database, and I can say, what is AI? And so I would put some descriptors like on so people know what the knowledge base is about, right? So they know what they can search in it. But notice that it has video, a lot of video content, all video content right now. I don't have any docs on the what is AI, right? And so I built that in a few seconds.
Wow, that's very cool. I'm gonna want to have to explore that a little bit more.
It's a lot, right? We packed in a lot in 90 minutes. So thank you all for being troopers and for, working through like some of the paywalls that have been put up on AI now. And we're going to see more of that, right? Just as things that were released in beta are going to be now, there's going to be paywalls on them, and we're going to end up having to pay for stuff. So don't pay for anything unless you know you're going to use it. Always use the trials.
Right.
If you use the trial and it's just like, do not pay for it. I think like I'm happy to go through this other thing about picking AI tools and creating requirement docs and sharing that with your IT departments. Like this is what I'm planning to do in a full course, not just like how do we do the fun stuff like this, but like more of the product aspects, right? Of like, how do you get this into your organization or into your institution? How do you put policies around it to ensure that it's being correctly?
Yeah, and I would concur. If you find that it's something that you're going to use, ChatGPT is the only one I'm paying for right now, because when I had the trial, I was in it all day, every minute. I could find a million uses for it. And as soon as I could find a million uses for it, I was like, okay, that's worth paying for. So that's the one that I'm paying for anyway. But you're right, there are just so many from which to choose. Okay, well, thank you, Myra, so much for your time and the generosity of knowledge. We really appreciate it, and I know the group here appreciates it. Those of you who are part of the Learning Rebels community, all of this will be placed into the community website for you guys to have access to. So look for it there. And for those of you who are not part of the community, become a part of the community. And An just put the link for the community inside the chat there. So it's worth looking into. We have lots of great conversations and topics such as this. And really the goal is to build capability, for L&D as we move forward, to keep us going for the next generations and forward. So again, thank you, Myra. I will be talking to you soon, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon, maybe Learning Solutions.
No, I'm not going to Learning Solutions. I think the next conference I'm going to is ICE.
I'll see you there.
Yep.
For sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Those of you who this is your first time, thank you for your support. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you again soon.